Nacho. Winspirit ang we horafanya sa char ukona ba. We na Nacho. Opo we borsu te we lasi. Wetang opo we na.
Welcome to Nationetwork. This time we are going to do it in English. Normally we do it in Dutch. We announced it that we're going to do this show in English. We have two special guests, but later we get to those guests. Today we are diving into the road of the World Cup qualifiers, focusing on Guatemala and Panama, two teams with history, ambition, but also serious questions hanging out over their heads as they prepare to face Suriname. With me, the two passionate followers, we get to that later, but first I'm here with Wayne Gersie. Wayne, Vaka.
Vaka. Friends and family, welcome for joining our show. Like, even though we're doing the show in English, we have people who speak between us 5 languages, I would guess. And, really grateful for our friends from Guatemala and Panama and Honduras to share their expertise. So we're looking forward to a great show. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe or like. And can't wait to introduce our guest. Orville, back over to you.
Yes, before we go to the guest, so as you said, don't forget to subscribe. You can respond live on the show, and we would really appreciate you to hit the like button and share the stream as much as possible. And yes, it will help us tremendously. If you're watching from another country, please tell us where you're watching from. We would appreciate it too. So I think we are ready for our guests. So let's have them. Let's go for them. Senor Pio, welcome.
Welcome. It's a pleasure to be here. Really enjoying the dynamic group that you guys have here, and just enjoying the participation. And thank you again for the invitation. It's a real pleasure.
Thank you. Wayne, can you introduce? Oh, let's first have Rico.
Yeah,
Rico, welcome.
Hi, how's it going? Oh, I'm so happy to be here, guys. Thanks for inviting me. I think what you guys do is really great. And, I love talking soccer, so I can't wait to start.
Well, nice having you. Thank you. Well, Wayne, let's introduce them.
Caballeros, bienvenidos al programa. Es un placer tenerlos aquí. So let's get to it. I have a pleasure of introducing my good friend, Rico Acevedo. Rico's been a long-time friend of mine. He's a passionate soccer fan. He loves the beautiful game, and he's been part of it his entire life. He's a big Guatemala national team supporter. He's never played professional at the collegiate level, but I've had the opportunity to play with Rico for years. We call it our beer soccer league. When we were both at a university together. I have some fond memories from the pitch, and of course the worst memory is Rico and I sitting at a bar watching Brazil lose 5-1 to Germany in the World Cup, breaking our hearts again. So that's Rico. It's my pleasure to also introduce Senor Pio Uclés, soccer commentator and analyst. Senor Pio is from Honduras, and he's a celebrated analyst and brings a lot of passion from the Central American football league, football community to life. He's had a dedicated career covering games, and in the wider region, he's a trusted voice. He's part of a radio show that he does 3 times a week. And he's certainly an expert on Honduras, but also other Central American teams. So welcome, Senor Pio, and welcome, Rico, and mucho gusto to you both. Back over
mucho gusto as well.
Okay, let's give the opportunity to let them tell something about themselves. Let's start with Rico. Rico, we can all see you're supporting the Guatemala team. So can you tell more about what does supporting the national team mean to you personally, and something about yourself?
Well, I mean, I was kind of born into the Guatemala national team. Both of my parents are from Guatemala. I myself was born in the U.S., and so I kind of have like a divided allegiance thing going on between the U.S. and Guatemala. And so Basically, I've been playing soccer all my life, and I've been watching soccer a lot. I was fortunate enough to have like my father take me to a lot of like the Guatemala national games that would happen over the summer in the U.S. So that it would be close to home. And now, as I've grown up, I've actually been able to travel along with the national team. I got to see some of the World Cup qualifiers. I didn't get to catch that game in Suriname though. Um, but
Too
yeah,
bad.
all my experience is like stuff that I watch, stuff that I've lived. And so I'm really excited about our Guatemala's chances this year, and I'm also excited about Suriname and Panama's chances. It'd be great to have some new teams show up and take over some of these top spots that have long been held by the usual four in CONCACAF.
The usual four. We'll get back to it later, but thank you. And Pio, okay, tell us more about you and your radio show.
Well,
Your radio show, Pio
yeah,
Deportes.
as I said, I'm from Honduras, born and raised. I've been in the States for 50 years. Been involved, played at a college level, and also played semi-professional here in the Bay Area. So, as far as my background from Honduras, I do come from, as Rico mentioned, he was kind of born into the Guatemalan national team. My experience being home is I come from a family that's of former professional players, and my oldest brother actually was the coach that took Honduras to the 1982 World Cup. He qualified them, and then and in fact, the national stadium has his name. His name is Pio Uclés. So that's my background as far as family is concerned, and as far as the radio show, I've been doing the radio show with Carlos Cesar Rivera at 1370 AM La Caliente out of San Jose for the past 10 years, and prior to that, I was in La Grande with another friend of mine who already passed away, Raul Colindre. So on, I've been doing radio for about roughly 20 years, since 2006, I believe. And so it's just a passion, not only a hobby, but I do enjoy it, and communicating. Again, I share my opinion. I'm not trying to force or convince anybody that I'm right. All I'm doing is sharing my opinion. If people agree with it, great. They don't agree with it, so be it.
So actually, yeah. Go ahead.
In these difficult times that we're living in, it's important to have an opinion. So and I just like to share my thoughts on soccer.
So actually, we already know how it came that you know so much about the national teams of Guatemala and Panama, and maybe even more, because you have the radio show, and you're for a long time already busy in the soccer and football. So
it's good. Again, I've been involved with it for the longest time. In fact, I watched Guatemala win their only Central American Championship in 1967. I was a 12-year-old kid, and I was watching Guatemala win that. I was at the stadium. I watched all their games in Tegucigalpa, which probably the golden generation that Guatemala had. I'm sure your father knows about that group of players. Brio Roldan, Camposeco, Nelson Melgar, Lopez Oliva, Tintan Peña. I'm sure that your father knows about them. So So I've been around a while.
So let me my first question to Rico, actually. How confident, because you're a Guatemala fan, you're a follower. How confident are you in your team's current form going into the qualifiers facing Suriname in an away match?
You know what? I think this might be my generation's rendition of the golden generation in terms of our soccer team. I think our soccer team plays really well. I remember starting out and watching us. We were defensively really solid, but we would always play the long ball. Like we always had our one striker, Carlos Ruiz, and he was good. He was good for 1 or 2 goals a game, and they only got 1 or 2 chances a game. And so, but now our midfield is strong. I feel really good. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful, which is hard because I'm also a realist. And so a lot of times, like I'll be the first person to be like, "Oh, like it'd be great if we went, Dad." But have you seen the team? So yeah, I feel good on Guatemala's chances of making it to the World Cup.
Oh, okay. Like, sounds confident, so as you say. So I kind of hear that you also can say like they have improved. Is the team improved or?
Yeah. I think it's night and day.
In what area?
I think really we've improved our midfield has really improved. We now play through the midfield. We stack things through the wings. We play off the flanks. We service into the box now. We've abandoned that idea that we're just gonna go out there and defend or play for a draw. That's never panned out for us before. And so like having Luis Fernando Tena, who's a coach, he was a midfielder back in his day. He was from Mexico. He's really changed. He's really changed the outlook of our team, and he's trained our midfield up so that we actually play nice through balls. We're actually connecting these passes. So I'm hopeful. I'm very hopeful.
Okay.
Okay.
That's comprehensive. Senor Pio, what are your thoughts on?
Well, Guatemala obviously did not get to the best start that they would have hoped for, having lost to El Salvador at home in a game that El Salvador had one corner kick and they scored on that corner kick.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of gives you the idea about how the game went on. And the best player that El Salvador had was their goalkeeper. Guatemala, playing at home on AstroTurf, I don't necessarily think that was an advantage for them, just because artificial grass tends to be a little different. But Guatemala also ran out of ideas at the end, and they started sending crosses instead of doing what they naturally do, which is attack with Herrera and Morales on the outside backs and coming in through the wings, or coming in as an inside forward. They cut that diagonally, and then Guatemala when they are on their game, they bring 4 or 5 people up front. So before you know it, they have 4 or 5 guys, in front of the box. So I think Guatemala needs to go back to that. Their coach Tena is a guy with a lot of experience that's able to control his players and kind of control the excitement and then Guatemala got a little confused when they played El Salvador, and that was not a good start. And now they find themselves in a position where they need to win games. I mean, they got a point out of Panama, which is no easy task, but it's still an uphill battle. They have to go to Suriname and find a team that hasn't lost at their 3,500 people stadium that feels like it's 35,000 when with the supporters are so excited about their national team having a chance to qualify for the World Cup. So Guatemala, they have the players. At the end of the day, it's about the players. They brought American-born players and, in fact, one English-born player as well. So it's the globalization of the game that allows that to happen. I'm sure you guys are hoping that Suriname wins their game, and then Rico is hoping that Guatemala wins that game. So it's
of course,
it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting because both teams need the point. Suriname wants to win that game.
And talking about Suriname, Suriname is on top of the table in the group
Yes.
group A. So the other two are behind. Where we're talking about Guatemala and Panama. But does it sound like they made any missteps? Because they are not on top of the league, but in the FIFA ranking, they are much higher placed than Suriname. So
You know, the rankings are rankings. And I'm being very honest with you. It's like all the statistics that they follow in soccer now in games. How many times, how long have you had the ball, time of possession, passes, assists. There's only one, at the end of the day, there's only one statistic that counts. And it's the ones that hit when the ball hits the back of the net. All the other statistics, quite frankly, I mean, it's good to know them, but the one that decides everything is how many times you put the ball in the back of the net. The ranking is the same. I mean, the
but do you think? But yeah, go ahead.
The one that's ranked 184 can be the one that's ranked 35 when you're playing at home, because this is not being in a neutral country like the Gold Cup is. The Gold Cup, you play games in a neutral country, and there's no impact from the fans. When you have to go to Suriname and you hear all those 3,500 people supporting their team, or you go to Tegucigalpa, or you go to Guatemala. Guatemala, unfortunately, they are remodeling their Mateo Flores stadium, which is back in the day when I was young. This stadium used to hold close to 50,000 people. Because of a tragedy that happened, they reduced the number of people, and they have seats, for every person. So that's gone down to like 25,000, I think, and they're remodeling it right now. They're going to be playing a municipal stadium, which is, I think, 18,000. They will not play at Cementos Progreso for the reason that, first of all, they didn't do well against El Salvador, but. World Cup qualifier. This is our World Cup. We're already playing the World Cup. The finals is the finals, but we're already in the World Cup. This is our World Cup. And
I have a question for Rico. But before we go to the question, I want to welcome all the fans, because I see more fans are checking our stream and sharing, hopefully. Thank you for sharing it and like the stream and hit the subscribe button. Thank you. So Rico, my question is actually, do you think that like both teams, like Guatemala and Panama, did they struggle to make a consistent impact on the highest level? Is something holding them back actually? Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think this plagues a lot of our developing countries, is the fact that the federation doesn't usually support the team. And so like I know that in Guatemala's case specifically, there's been a lot of like corruptions. There's been several indictments on like fraud and embezzling. And so that doesn't help. It doesn't help. Also, we didn't really invest in the youth program. And so a lot of our youth obviously weren't getting significant playing times in the home league, right? Because we have a larger percentage of foreigners that take up those spots. Now, I'm not saying that that's bad for the game globally, because everyone wants to travel. But I think with like the leadership under Tena as coach, we started importing. So we also started picking up U.S. born players, or players that were born in Europe but that have Guatemalan descent, right? And so like they're what's changing our current roster and our current play style. So yeah, I will say we do struggle for consistency in the face of our the adversity that we have, not just with like our playing or our player pool, but also in terms of like the people that oversee our sport, the FedeFoot, which is the Guatemalan organization. You know, they're recovering. Obviously, the people support it, right? The people come to the games. Mateo Flores obviously gets packed. Cementos Progreso, I've been there a couple of times. You know, it's closer, so you still get that 12th man feeling. But it's hard if like the organization is actively fighting against you to get
So
to get
actually,
some of these wins.
so actually what you said is actually the talent is like something is holding them back, the development of the talents. But can you say someone is responsible for the team's current stage? Is it like the coach, the federation, or the players themselves? And what, before you answer those questions, I want to ask you also, like, what do you think about the players outside of Guatemala who are not born and raised in Guatemala, but they are part of the team? What do you think of them?
I'll tell you the same thing that if you would ask me, like, what am I would tell you that I'm Guatemalan, right? Like I was also born outside of Guatemala. I eat the same food, right? So I think it's great. I think people that can go back and discover their heritage. I know, for instance, our striker, Rubio Rubin Mendez, he's American born. He actually played in the U17 for the US. He did a couple of matches for the US in friendlies for the oh my gosh, now I was trying to say for the grown-up squad. But then ultimately he signed his one-time waiver, and you know, the Chapines, the Guatemalan people, they welcomed him with open arms. And so I think that's great. You know, that we're finding talent wherever talent's to be had.
This is a great segue, because some of the things you describe are also happening in Suriname, and this question is for Senior Pio. So there's a lot of players who are eligible to play both for the Dutch national team, in our case, and and for Suriname. And some of them are still sitting on the fence because they're hopeful that they'll get selected for the Dutch national team. What would you say to them if you were advising them about what decision they should make? And then by the time they're like 28 or 29, they realize that the Dutch dream is dead, and then they want to come and play for Suriname. Tell us what you would say to them in your view.
Yeah, that to me is a situation where players, you get to certain, I mean, Rico mentioned players that have played youth national team games. And you get to certain point, 22, 23, 24, if you haven't been called to the first team, it's going to take a lot to be called. And it's only one, it's an outside chance. My suggestion to players is, you know, do you have a chance to play in the World Cup qualifier? It's actually the World Cup as it starts. It affects, when you play for a national team, it affects your professional life as well, because that is the biggest showcase that you'll have if you have aspirations of going to a bigger league or to a more important teams. So my suggestion to players would be, you know what, take advantage of this. This is there's 48 teams that qualified now for the World Cup. So you have an opportunity. If you're playing at a decent level, not necessarily, because in Central America, in Suriname, we're not looking for, the top of the leagues. No, let's get some players, let's get some journeymen here that can come and help us. With that said, I definitely say to players, the bus only goes by once. Take advantage of it, jump on it, because it will change your life. And, if the game is so big nowadays that to miss opportunities like that, and obviously you have to make a decision. I mean, you have to believe in your abilities and think, well, you know what, I may be called for, let's say, an American-born player that would have a chance to play for Suriname or for Guatemala or for Panama in this case. Take advantage of it. It's a privilege. Not many people have the opportunity to play for a national team. There's only put it in perspective. There's only 211 countries in the world that belong to FIFA, more than in the United Nations. But there's only 211 coaches that can manage a national team, regardless whether it's Madagascar or Luxembourg or whatever. It's a privilege. There's millions upon millions of coaches out there that would love to be a part of a national team, and there's only 211 that have that opportunity. Players are the same. Take advantage of it. It'll open doors. The moment you play for a national team, you put that jersey, for a national team, your life will change. And
let's hope let's hope they will take it. Like players, if I name a few, like Somerville and Joel Peru, they are really popular in Suriname, and a lot of Suriname fans hope they will still join the team. So I hope they will listen to this and take your advice. I really hope it.
I mean, I tell you, can you imagine? All four of us, if we've had an opportunity, we would have killed to be a part of a national team. I mean, that's how important this is.
Yeah, no.
Let's review the contract first, and then we can talk about it. Players will play for free. I mean, I remember back in the day, players in Europe, when they used to be West Germany, these players would play in Italy, and they would pay their own fare to go play for the West German national team. This is just one story that I know of. I'm sure that it happened in many other countries. But when it's a privilege, when you understand the privilege of representing a country, whether you were born in it or you are part of it because of your background, your family background, I say take the opportunity. I mean, it may not be, for the Surinamese players that play in the Netherlands. What are the chances of you getting called to the first team? I mean, be realistic. You have to be realistic with yourself. What are your chances? And then here you have an opportunity to play in the World Cup, because the World Cup is not the finals. This is the World Cup. The World Cup already started. The finals are played here in the United States. So when you hear the national anthem and you have your family watching you and you have an entire country supporting you, regardless of the corruption, regardless of all the outside problem, it's your national team, and it's a privilege, and that's how people need to look at it.
Okay, let's hope that they look at it like the way you say they should look to it. But Rico, my next question is to you actually. About Suriname, we stay at Suriname for a little while. Do you see Suriname as a real threat actually to Guatemala? And if you do, can you say why you do?
Yes, like unequivocal yes. Like you're on top of the table, right? You have the points over us. Your gameplay is a lot faster. So I know that in the past you guys have been inconsistent when it comes to scoring goals, but in terms of creating the chances, you guys are really good about that. And on average, you have about, I'm gonna say about 2 inches over top of us, which means that your aerial threat is really strong. And as Senor Pio pointed out, we lost the game to one corner kick. And now imagine the person that you're guarding is like 4 inches above you. Like they're just gonna knot it down. And so like we recognize that Suriname is a good team. Like I rooted for you guys in the last phase when we weren't in the same group. I was like, oh yeah, let's see Suriname get up on top, and you guys did really great, against Guyana and the other teams that were in your Nations League group.
It kind of sound Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Go
I'm
ahead.
simultaneously rooting for you and hoping that you'd give us 3 points. Like if you could lend me 3 points, that'd be great.
It kind of sounds like you're worried about the style of play of Suriname because you say we are more quicker with passing and things like that. But what do you think about the fans of Guatemala? Do they underestimate Suriname?
You,
The other fans?
yeah, so I think as a whole we're very hopeful about our team, and so it's not that we're underestimating, because I think there's a lot of pressure on on Guatemalan football to make sure that we qualify, right? Like there's a lot of prestige, there's a lot of money involved, and so I think it'd be foolish for our fans to underestimate Suriname's growing talent. And like just because you guys miss a couple of goals the last match doesn't mean that you won't miss them this match. And so we always have to be careful of the danger men in on the Suriname team.
I have a
So yeah.
follow on for Senior Pio. So similar to how Rico described his perception of the Suriname team from a Guatemala perspective, I would like to hear if you are a Guatemalan coach, team, fan, how do you view Suriname?
Well, here's my perception. I think Guatemala has to do what they did against Panama, playing away. That is having a intending, controlling the ball. Having the ball doesn't make you control the game. And Panama had the ball all day long. That's why the statistics that I was talking about. Statistics, there's only one statistic that counts, and that's the one when the ball goes in the back of the net. So Guatemala will probably do the exact same thing, and at a point in time, because Guatemalan midfielders ran all day long. If you look at the subs that came first were midfielders. In midfield, you tend to gain yellow cards faster than a defender or a forward because there's a lot of contact. That's where you win the ball. And my idea is that Guatemala will do the same thing in maintaining, intending to make that game be played in 50 yards. Have Suriname come in and have those 50 yards on the other side to counterattack. Guatemala has players that are ideal for counterattacking, and at outside backs that play from goal line to goal line. Midfielders play from box to box. Outside backs play from goal line to goal line. And Herrera and Morales especially, brings a lot to the Guatemalan attack. It's a guy that's continuously. Once he those outside backs that Guatemala has, once they cross the halfway line, they think like forwards.
Oh, we get to the players later in the show.
Yeah, so
but
go ahead. Those guys.
Actually,
those guys. When they cross the halfway line, they become forward. So Guatemala, I think, has a good chance of getting. Look at it in the context. Guatemala gets a point out of Suriname. Guatemala has to play at home against Suriname, against Panama, and they can take their chances with El Salvador. So for Guatemala, it will not be a catastrophe to get a point out of Suriname. They're not obligated to win. Where they're going to take their chances is when they play at home. So
you know what? I will tell you, the Mirador, the Guatemalan newspaper, disagrees with you. They say we need W's. Like they're the next two matches.
One thing is what you want.
Yeah.
And one thing is what you can get.
It's
so
true. Realistically,
you think Suriname is going to be giving thinking about giving up 3 points. This
I
is
mean,
the chance. This is the chance. If you don't win at home, you guys, the problem with Guatemala was losing that game against El Salvador.
Agreed,
That's
100.
That's why we're that's why Guatemala is in this predicament, to try to go win away. It's complicated. It's very, very complicated.
To stay in Guatemala, I have a question for Rico. But before we go to that, I'd like to open the chat box, because there are already more fans who are in the stream, who are commenting in the comment box. So we like to open the chat box. So maybe they have any questions for you guys. So let's go to the next question. Rico, what if your team loses to Suriname? Would you consider that as a national embarrassment?
I mean, depends on how we lose. If we lose the way that we lost to Jamaica in Jamaica, then yes, I would consider it a national embarrassment, where we went out to defend. We played with no heart. We gave up 1 goal and then gave up a second and then gave up a third, and there was no ideas. Then yes, I would say that would be an embarrassing game. But I think that if we go out and play the way that Senor Pio talks about, where we play our game and we play a good clean game, and we end up losing by a goal, like that's just how it is. Like I can't fault them for it, right? Like that's the reason why you play the games. You play the games to see who will win, and if Suriname wins, Suriname wins. Like I'm trying not to bring up the obvious, the fact that reffing and the VAR and whatever dynamic is happening between those two groups can heavily impact a match. And so I would rather not see it become the usual CONCACAF foot kicker, where everyone's going out there trying to grab themselves their own personal yellow card. I don't think Guatemala plays well that way, and I'm sure that Suriname or Panama, I'm sure they don't either. So I'm hoping we stay clean like we've been, and the ball is flowing, the passes are coming through. Yeah, that's my hope. Like I said, not a national embarrassment if we lose to Suriname. I think it was more embarrassing that we lost to El Salvador.
Okay, that's okay. I understand, completely understand. But I'd like to talk. Senor Pio already started actually with the player, with Morales. But I'd like to talk about the players who can do real damage to the Suriname team. So I want to go to the players actually right now. So let's start with you, Rico. Let's stay with you for a while. I want to know, what do you know about Rubio Rubin?
Oh, so Rubio Rubin, he came in with Dena, and he's basically our talisman. So sometimes he plays with a partner. Most of the time he plays by himself. Like in our last couple of matches, he plays as the lone striker. He's a tradesman, so he applies his trade in the U.S. He was in the USL, which is right under the MLS. He's also had plenty of time in some MLS teams. He came from FC Utrecht. That's where he started his career.
Sorry to interrupt you, but he
Yes.
also played with Utrecht. With you
Yes.
see, he's already on screen.
Yeah.
He played with FC Utrecht, so he already knows about a little bit of the Dutch way of playing, and the Suriname team kind of plays like that when they want.
I think Coach Senna has faith in this man, because like sometimes it doesn't seem like he's producing as much. Because like when you talk about forwards, you talk about goals, and so Rubio Rubin does the dirty work. Like he'll hold up the ball, he'll play for the foul, he'll pass back, but when Guatemala needs a goal, this is the man that you send in. He's the heart of the team. He's gonna go out there and he's gonna give the fans what they want. And most of the time, what we want is a goal.
Senor
A
Pio.
striking detail. A striking detail about Rubio Rubin. He played at Utrecht with Girano Kerk. And Kerk is from the Suriname team. So they played together at Utrecht. So I don't know if they were in touch with each other, but they already know each other. And I'd like to know more about him because he made later a one-time switch to play for the Guatemalan team because he already played for the USA team.
Yes.
Can you tell me more about the decision? Maybe Senor Pio can, or you. It doesn't matter actually. But I wanna know more about the decision because he played a lot of matches. I think they were exhibitions for the Team USA, but it's still a lot. Why did he make the switch?
Well, I'll say what I think, and then I'll defer to our analyst. I think between him, his family, and his agent, I think that they were presented a case where they were like, "Do you want to possibly ride the bench for the U.S. Or do you actually want to play?" And I think that Senor Pio was alluding to that earlier. Like you're caught in between two nations, and so like personally, I would say if I got called up by Guatemala, I would be like, sign me up, and I would have forgotten the fact that I had a contract to sign or that there was bonuses involved. I'd just be happy. I'm wearing the shirt already. Just slap a number on it and put me up front. So I think that for Rubio Rubin, I think he made a calculated decision. He thought about the pros and cons of playing for each nation, how he would be received by Guatemala, and he was received with open arms. And so I feel like for him, I think that for him, I think that he made a good decision by switching by signing that one-time switch and playing for Guatemala.
Thanks, Rico, for that comment. Senor Pio, I really want to hear your technical analysis of Rubin and your thoughts on him before we pivot to other players as well. And if you have anything to comment on.
My thoughts on him, I definitely think that he understood quickly that the United States has one of the largest pools of players for the national team. You look at the national team with 10, 12 guys playing in top teams in Europe, not playing in second-level teams. They're playing in top teams. And so the chances of Rubin making it to the U.S. national team were very, very difficult. So he made the right decision. Go to Guatemala, have a chance to play for the national team. Obviously, his connection with Guatemala through his parents, and now he's had a chance to play international football. International football. That's not just a simple thing. And as far as his style of play, he's a guy that's like most forwards. You ask from forwards to do a lot of things that they weren't asked to do 20 years ago. You're asking them to be the first line of pressure, to go and challenge the defenders and put pressure. The first line of defense is your forwards. And it's not just, that's why you see substitutions. That's why the 5-player substitution helps. Because you can bring players fresh players when these guys have been running. In certain systems, you're going to run more than in others. When you give up the ball to the other team, you will be chasing the ball a lot. And when you do that, you will get tired. And the chances of yellow cards but Rubin is an asset, definitely an asset for Guatemala. It's a guy that coming off the bench or being in the starting lineup, it's a guy that he may not have the best game, but the effort will be there. And that is important. That is important. I mean, it's a guy that moves through the whole front line. Doesn't necessarily, he can start in the middle, he can go to the left, he can go to the right. And if you give him a chance, he'll score a goal. I'm not saying that he's the greatest goal scorer, but he's an asset, definitely an asset.
Thank you for that.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear. Let's go to our next player. But Wayne, go ahead.
I was going to say, I want to be mindful of the time. Let's get to our next player.
Our next player is Oscar Santis.
Yeah.
Rico, can you tell us something about him?
So Oscar Santis is a dynamo. Like he has been on a goal scoring streak for club and for country. He's he got a hat trick against the Dominican Republic. He scored the game winning brace against Jamaica. He plays for Antigua, and Antigua is doing really good in our national team selection. That man right there
on top of the
is
table,
Caballo Morales. Yeah, they're on top of the table, and they've displaced our usual two big teams in the Guatemalan League, which are Municipal and Los Cremas. And so now Antigua's a big player, you know, in this game on the nation level. This man is El Caballo Morales, who you're showing on the screen right now. And
Yes.
as Senor Pio talked about, this man is an engine. He's going up into the attack. He's tracking back. He's chasing people down to the byline. He's our warrior. Like this man is one of the reasons why our defense is so good, why our midfield connects, why our defense connects to the midfield, why our midfield connects to our forwards. So he's also having a good time in Municipal. He doesn't score as much, but he did score. He did score for us recently. Also against the Dominican Republic, and he's put in a couple of assists. So he does the hard work of running up and down, touchline to touchline.
Pio, anything to add to that?
Excuse me?
Anything to add to that analysis from Rico?
No, definitely Morales is a player that gives you a lot of options. Like I said, he can stay wide right next to the line, or he can come diagonally as an inside forward. Defensively, he's very solid. Also, he's an experienced player, 29, 30-year-old player that has seen a lot of games at club level and at national team level. And you can see when he plays the intensity that he brings to his game, and that is something that you cannot. That's the intangible that players have. You cannot measure that, that level of commitment and that desire to represent your country. And also, not only does it for the national team, but that's the way he plays when he plays for Municipal as well. So no, definitely an asset. It's a guy, and it's at a point in his age, there's maturity, there's experience, and there's know-how, and that's definitely it's a very important player for Guatemala.
Somebody commented that he's the Gattuso from Guatemala.
The Italian, like Gennaro Gattuso. He kind of looks like him. And
well, different positions.
what do you think of it?
Yes,
that's true. He's a left back.
Different positions. I mean, Gattuso was an animal playing in the middle. In a fantastic team.
Yeah.
It's two different things. It's to be an animal on a smaller team, and be an animal on a team where you're surrounded by world-class players. Not disrespecting the Guatemalan national team, but the comparisons.
Yes.
It's a little different. Yeah.
Okay.
You want to go to the next player?
Let's go to the next player. Pio. Let's go to Nicolas Hagen.
Yeah, the guy has brought tremendous stability to the Guatemalan goal. It's great leadership. The guy is the unusual type of goalkeeper for Central America. This guy is 6'4", 6'5". That's a big goalkeeper. Those are the goalkeepers that you see in Europe more frequently than not. Yeah. In Central America, just because of genetics, we don't have a lot of people that are. And he's done a great job. He plays in the MLS currently. Has played in Azerbaijan, played in Israel, but also, I mean, his main thing has been a great asset. And he's a guy that's with the ball on his feet, he doesn't feel uncomfortable either. I mean, it's a guy that can give you there's a guy that can give you a 40-yard pass, not a clearance, a pass, which is kind of like Menso used to do with for Ajax way back when. Those guys, those goalkeepers that are keeper sweeper type of stuff, you know.
Yeah,
And
mentioned it the same actually. Yeah.
Hagen is a quality goalkeeper. He has demonstrated that he's a quality goalkeeper, and his leadership within the team is also extremely important. He's a huge asset for the Guatemala national team. Not to say that the substitute goalkeeper is not at his level. It's very, very good. Guatemala is lucky to have two great goalkeepers right now. It's you know, it's not the usual thing to happen for teams in Central America to have two great goalkeepers, and Guatemala happens to have that. Both good with their feet, good size. You know, the most difficult thing for goalkeepers to learn how to come out of the line for crosses, and these guys have good judgment, and that gives a lot of stability to a team.
Rico,
I have one more question about Nicolas Hagen, because his full name is actually Nicolas George Hagen Godoy, and there's a Godoy playing in the Panama squad. Are they related or something? Do you know something about it? Yes, you know.
Common name.
No.
But Hagen doesn't sound like a South American name, also.
No, we have, you know, there's an influx of European people in Central America. You go to Costa Rica, you go to Guatemala, you go to Honduras, and you will find a lot of Europeans. So it's and Hagen is one of those. But yeah, Godoy from Panama it's a difference. Totally different DNA there.
Yes.
Rico, anything to add to your twin brothers?
So I would say that Hagen has he was fluctuating between teams before the Gold Cup, and he came out with a team. And so I think that's one of the perks about being on a national team, as Senor Pio was talking about, was the fact that you get to showcase your skill. Hagen was huge in the Gold Cup, getting us that penalty save against Guadeloupe in the dying minutes. You know, like basically winning games for us by keeping the ball out the back of the net. And so I think that he's indispensable. Like I can understand fully why Tena picks him over our backup, even though our backup, as Senor Pio also said, is really good. Like he is also a good keeper in his own right.
Okay, let's do a rapid round because we have two players more that we want to discuss. Jose Pinto.
Before we go to the next players, I want to welcome all the fans that just joined the stream. Don't forget to hit the like button, share the stream as much as possible, and subscribe. So thank you. Yes.
Thanks, Orville. So let's go to the next two players, Jose Pinto and Jonathan Franco. Rapid fire. Senor Pio, do you want to start first?
Yeah, Pinto is the captain of the Guatemala national team and one of the anchors of their defense. Him and Samayoa, two experienced players, 32 years old, definitely bring a lot to the, combined with what Hagen does in the back, they have a good, good defensive group of players with experience and desire, really intense players that have made a difference at club level and at national team level. And Pinto is the captain, he's the leader. Being the captain, one of the leaders, I would say, being the captain doesn't necessarily make you the leader of the team, but in this case, he is one of the leaders. Guatemala has Samayoa, Pinto, Hagen, guys that with character that bring a lot to the Guatemalan team. So, definitely Pinto is definitely an asset for the Guatemalan national team.
Rico, anything to add?
Yeah, I fully agree with Senor Pio. Like Pinto is a man that shouts the orders in defense. Him along with Hagen, they make sure they keep the balls out of the back of the net, and so they're indispensable to our team. I think they're just good players.
Okay, let's go to our last Guatemalan player, Jonathan Franco. So, Pio, what can you tell us about the defensive midfielder, I guess?
Well, like I mentioned, Guatemalan midfielders, because of the nature of their system, they either play 4-4-2 or 4-3-2-1. Midfielders, like in any team, midfielders are kind of the spinal cord of a team, because everything starts there and everything kind of ends there sometimes. He definitely, it's a player with that physically, he puts a huge effort defending, and when he has the ball, he knows what to do with the ball. He's one of those players, one of those midfielders that not only cuts off advances from the other team, but also once he has the ball, he has enough soccer intelligence to know what to do, makes right decisions when he has the ball. So definitely an asset for the and at 22 years old, it's a guy with a bright future, definitely, and a very important player for Guatemala now and for the future as well.
Okay, well, thank you for your input, and well, that was Team Guatemala. Now we're going to switch over to Team Panama, the 5 players that we're going to check. Michael Murillo. Pio, can you tell us something about him?
Murillo is definitely a player that is extremely important. Plays for Marseille in France, 28, 29-year-old player with, again, one of those modern fullbacks that goes from goal line to goal line. And has shown for Panama, has been just a very, very important player for them. So I think in this, but when Panama plays at home, he ventures out on the attack more frequently than he would when they play away. So talented, physically, guy is 6 feet tall, 6'1". With enough athletical ability and enough skills to be a big difference. Hence the reason why he plays in France.
Okay.
Thank you. So the next person we would discuss is Ismael Diaz, the left winger, center striker for Panama. Any feedback there, either Rico or
who did you say? Excuse me.
I mentioned
Ismael Diaz.
Ismael Diaz.
Ismael Diaz.
Oh, Ismael Diaz. Yeah, no, definitely a player that is extremely important for for Panama, that complements it so really well with Carrasquilla. We will talk about Carrasquilla later, but this is a guy that's always getting together with Carrasquilla and going for wall passes and 1-2 passes and moving, synchronized. And it's definitely a very important player for for Panama. And obviously, they haven't been able to get the results that they have wanted. But this guy is definitely, and also as he's mentioned, in his club León in Mexico. Even though the club is not doing that well right now, but he is definitely an important part of both León and the Panamanian national team. It's a very good player.
He scored 6 goals in 4 matches on the Gold Cup of this year. So
yeah,
he's a great
he was. I believe he was the highest. No, the highest scorer was from Suriname. I'm sorry, in the Gold Cup. But the Gold Cup, I don't like to use the Gold Cup as a reference, because that happened 3 months ago, and rosters may have changed. Playing in a neutral area, in a neutral country, is not the same as playing in your country or playing away. So, that's why I don't like to use the Gold Cup as a reference, because it's kind of an artificial gauge, because you play well in a beautiful stadium with fans applauding you. When you go play away and the fans mention your mother's name every step of the way. It's a different atmosphere, definitely a different atmosphere. But definitely Ismael Diaz is a great player for for Panama.
Let's go to our next player.
Hagen's
Godoy,
brother,
Hannibal.
Hagen's relative. I can see a resemblance.
I can see it too. No, you're making fun of me, guys.
Yeah. No, Godoy is definitely the captain of of Panama. At 35 years old, is a guy with the most capped player, I believe, for Panama, and it's just a player that gives you that outlet, to come out of the back. The guy that will stop counterattacks, the guy that does dirty work, but also talented work for them, and it provides leadership for the team. And at 35, he's I watched him here playing. He happens to play for San Diego FC, and the guy that's the manager of San Diego FC is I know him very well. I've known him since he was a little kid, and I asked him, because of the World Cup qualifiers, and he says that it's one guy that he needs to have in his team, that he can, the one guy he cannot afford not to have in his team is Godoy. Godoy it sets the tempo for the team. Carrasquilla is the talent, just pure talent. But this guy,
we get to him later. We're almost there at Carrasquilla. We're almost there.
Yeah. No, but what
Let's
I'm
go
saying,
to Mosquera.
solid. Oops, sorry. No, go ahead, Rico.
No, I was just gonna say,
Mosquera.
I was just gonna say that he's currently playing in the Saudi league. He's doing well. He's got internationally. He's got about 37 caps for Panama. He's basically a great goalkeeper. He's in terms of his league play with Al Fayah, he's made several starts. He's recorded a couple of clean sheets, and so his performance is very consistent. With Panama, it's the same. Like he's the top pick. Like if you're gonna look for a goalkeeper and he's Panamanian, this is the person that you look to.
He's playing with Al Fayah in the Saudi Pro League. He's also
Yes.
playing together with his teammates with Chris Smalling, the Englishman from Manchester United back then, and AS Roma. They are teammates at Al Fayah. But let's go to our next player.
No, I wanted to mention something about Mosquera very
okay.
quickly. This is a guy that at 30 years old, goalkeepers tend to mature a little later than field players, and this guy is just getting better and better and better. When they learn their trade, and he's gotten that calmness that gives Panama a huge asset. So he has grown into a really, really solid goalkeeper. Panama has historically have had some good goalkeepers, but Mosquera is definitely at 30 years old. He's just coming into his own maturity-wise. Like I said, goalkeepers mature a little later than field players because it's a specialized position. And this guy's his maturity, his judgment, decision making, and obviously nowadays the skill with the ball in their feet. It's not as simple as it used to be way back when goalkeepers would grab the ball and punt it as far as they could. Now it's a keeper sweeper, in a position. So that's why I didn't want to let that go with Mosquera, because I really think it's for after Keylor Navas. I think Mosquera is probably the second best goalkeeper in the area right now. I'm talking about Panama to Guatemala. I'm not comparing. I'm not saying CONCACAF. I'm just saying Panama to Guatemala.
Okay. Rico, do you agree with that?
Yeah. He's a great keeper. He's an amazing shot stopper. He has great judgment off the ball. I mean, goalkeeping is the one position where if you make a mistake, you pay the price, right? Like if your forward loses the ball on the opposite side of the field, there's no problem. But if he loses the ball inside the small box, it's gonna be a huge issue.
You know,
So
he can make 20 saves in a game, and he lets one in, and then nobody remembers the 20 saves.
Yep, that's right.
Everybody will remember the goal that went in. So that's the
Okay,
nature.
guys.
That's the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
We are short time, so we have to go to our next player. We already mentioned him, Adalberto Carrasquilla.
Yeah. Carrasquilla is the big show in Panama. He's the player that I fear the most when we play against them. He currently is playing with Pumas, but he's also a MLS transfer, so he's also spent time in the MLS. You'll see that a lot with our Central American teams. Is that like if you're good, you're gonna apply your trade in the MLS. It's very rare for us to go like overseas. We usually do that in small stints. He was the golden ball winner in the 2023 Gold Cup. Obviously he's been injured. He got some sort of muscle injury to his left leg, and so he wasn't in this year's Gold Cup. But I'm sure like anyone else, I'm sure all Panamanians are waiting for his healthy return to the national team squad for this latest round to the World Cup.
Yeah, and he also the year before, 24, he won the golden ball of the best player of the year award. So I think like you said, he's the biggest fear.
Yeah,
we saw it in Suriname. He's the man. He's the motor of the team. So let's go to our next player, the last player.
Can I make a comment about Carrasquilla regarding Suriname? Suriname did extremely well containing him when they played at home. In fact, you saw Carrasquilla got a little frustrated a couple of times. He got a couple of chances, but he was not as fluid as where he really is the one that makes the ball distribution, makes the true pass. They'll make the assist, and in that game, Suriname did well containing him. That's Suriname playing at home. Is that going to be the case when they play in Panama? That remains to be seen. But Carrasquilla is at 26 years old. It's just it's just a tremendous player that I hope to see him playing in Europe at a point in time, because he's got that kind of a talent. They went to MLS as a stepping stone, and then the Mexican League, which is also an extremely important league. I would love to see him in because I enjoy watching him. I really enjoy watching him from strictly as a football fan. Not really. Just you watch the guy, and then you're watching a quality player. So those were my 2 cents on Carrasquilla.
Yes, I agree with it. Let's go to our last player, the final one. That's Jose Fajardo. Rico, can you tell us about him?
Oh yeah, it's like so he's a Panamanian forward. He's on a good streak right now for the Universidad Católica. He applies his trade in Ecuador. He's on loan. He had some sort of knee problems where he ended up missing like 8 matches for the Universidad Católica, but it seems like he's fit, and he's an ever-present danger. He's good with his head, and that's really what I'm not looking forward to seeing is us giving up corner kicks and putting the ball in the air so that this man can knock them down. That's what I have.
Okay. Well, thank you. Hey, we almost at the end of the show, guys. But I have one last question, actually, for Pio. There's one player, Cecilio Waterman. What can you tell me about the jump that he had at Thierry Henry? Why did he jump at this guy?
because he admired
The,
Thierry Henry. He when he scored that goal, he went direct to him. This is during the Gold Cup, and he went
Nations
to
League, forget of Gold Cup. Was Nations League, right?
was it
Nations
Nations
League.
League or Gold Cup? Either yeah,
Was in the
something,
nation.
yeah.
They beat
Anyway,
the
so
US in the Nations League.
yeah,
Yep.
exactly. So this here is only it's that shows respect from one player to one of the greatest players that I have ever gotten on a football pitch on Thierry Henry. So, yeah, that was a very moving moment, an interesting moment because it happened. It was so spontaneous. It happened during the match. So I believe Thierry Henry said that he was a little surprised to see him come at him. He thought, "What's going to happen here?" But yeah, no, it's one of those moments that you remember just because of being so spontaneous.
I have a final question for you all. Whether you're Panama or Guatemala, who's the player of Suriname that you should be the most worried about?
I mean, for me, I think your forwards are our biggest threat. Like I don't know if they're gonna be playing this time around because I heard that you guys had some injuries, and so you're getting some people that are coming off of injury reserve back into the team for the next couple of matches. But Jaden Montour, uh, he's been really good for club and country. I also worry about your wing backs because like we have good wing backs and it turns out that the game of lobbing stuff into the center of the field, like it's if we can't cut off those passes, you guys have really big threats up front, and so that's a ever present danger in my mind. Yeah, I think overall, I think that the Suriname national team is made a statement with its run, and I hope that we end up talking more about them because we can talk less about like Jamaica and the U.S. and Canada and Mexico, all who have kind of taken a step back and are currently like rebuilding or trying to figure out what in the world's happening up there. And so it would be nice if instead we just talked about Guatemala and Suriname and Panama and even Honduras. Honduras, we not really in this discussion right now, but Honduras is going through its own little rebuilding phase. I think they have stuff to look forward to. You just got to get the team makeup right. That's all.
Senor Pio.
Well, definitely, I think something that I would really catches my attention with Suriname is the collective effort. I think that possession style, that school, the Johan Cruyff school, keeping the ball, making right decisions. Suriname gives you a sense of that they're trying to do that. Careful with the ball, administering the ball well, and definitely you having your goalkeeper is definitely a huge asset, and he proved it against Panama, making that save, which was it was amazing. Then the Blickster, I think is his name, the guy that won the highest score in the Gold Cup, definitely a forward. And Suriname has players playing all over in Saudi Arabia, in Hungary, and obviously in the Netherlands. So I don't think it's one player that will make or break a team. I think I emphasize on Suriname's collective effort, defensively and offensively. I think that it's fun to watch. Suriname bring so much to the table and having an opportunity to qualify to World World Cup. You have to remember that everybody gave Panama as the absolute favorite to win this group, and what has happened? At a point at a point in time in the radio show, I said, because there's internet influencers that say a lot of things to generate opinions and what have you. And I got to the point that it was insulting what they were saying about the other Central American countries. So I said, Panama is the best team that has never won anything. They finished second, they finished third, they finished fourth, and they have good performances, but they haven't won anything. They've been in one World Cup. So with all that said, the fact that you see Suriname, Guatemala, and El Salvador giving a team like Panama a run for their money is healthy. It's healthy to watch. I mean, to Rico's point, this is an opportunity for other countries to qualify. Luckily, it's 6 countries now, where before it's only 3. So it's an opportunity. That's why everybody's making an effort. That's why everybody's making an effort. Let's not kid ourselves. If it's only 3 teams, and it would be Mexico, Canada, and the U.S., the chances of qualifying would be slim and none. So that's my comment on that.
Thank you for your comment. But we are about to start with the second part of the show. But before we say goodbye to you guys, one last thing. I'd like to know your predictions for the confrontations between both countries with Suriname. So the first one, Suriname against Guatemala. What are your predictions?
Rico, give us the
So
let me think about that.
Yeah. I'll give it to you from a fan's perspective. I think Guatemala's going to go out there and try to win this match. I think we're going to try to play our game on your home turf, and hopefully we can come out. I personally think it's going to be really close, so I think it's going to be 1-0. But usually what happens is once you score 1 goal, everything goes crazy. So I'm going to say 2-1 that Guatemala will beat Suriname. I think I'm not sure what's happening with Panama, right? Because like everyone predicts, like Panama was going to be top of this table. You know what? I hope Suriname wins. Like that's my hope. Like I want Suriname to win. So I'm going to say that you guys. Maybe your forwards lock in, your midfielders, long distance shots ring off the post, for you. To me, I would say 2-0. Suriname takes Panama.
Pio.
My 2 cents. I think Suriname playing at home will win that game. Suriname hasn't lost at home in God knows how long. And I see Suriname beating Guatemala. And I see Panama beating Suriname at home. Panama at home is a different team. They already have seen each other. I think that the differences in both games are going to be minimal. I don't venture out to give scores because it's so subjective that you're not. I think the difference will be minimal. I think Suriname will come out ahead in their game at home, and in Panama obligated to win that game. So those are my prediction. But the difference is going to be minimal.
Yeah. Good to hear. But guys, it's hard to say goodbye. And I still won't say it because I have 2 more questions. From an international perspective, what do you think Suriname represents in the CONCACAF, in the modern CONCACAF landscape? And if they were to qualify, what message would that send to the rest of the Caribbean and Latin America?
Rico, you want to go first?
Oh no, this one I defer to you, Senor.
No, I mean I think it's important to have smaller countries have a chance to qualify. I mean, we are all part of the soccer community worldwide. Honduras qualified one time in 1982 for the first time. Then we qualified 2 other times. And Honduras had a great showing. Costa Rica made it to the quarterfinals of the World Cup. Yeah. So we are countries that have generations of players. We don't produce players on a regular basis like Argentina, Brazil, Spain, England. We don't. But we have that one generation that will bring us, qualify us to the finals of the World Cup. So for Suriname to accomplish a qualification, it would be fantastic. It would be an eye opener for a lot of the players that decided not to participate with Suriname. And you see, because everybody's going to try to jump on the bandwagon. And I hope you guys remember the ones that helped you and the ones that did not help you, because that's it's important. Let's not have selective memories. Let's look at this thing as a privilege. And Suriname, good luck to you guys. Really good luck. Obviously, you have to win the games. This is not just wishing that you win. That is not enough. You have to go and perform. And so far, Suriname has performed well. Now they got some tough games ahead of them, with Guatemala at home and Panama away, and then they have to go to Guatemala. They won in El Salvador, but it's a lot of work ahead of them. So, but good luck to both of you guys. To Guatemala, I have my own worries with Honduras. We'll discuss that at another time. We have Costa Rica playing at home this coming Thursday, so we have our hands full.
Thank you. Before I turn it over back to Orville, I want to thank you both for sharing your expertise and wisdom with our fans. I know that our fans are more informed and grateful, and perhaps even the Suriname coaching staff and players if they tuned in. I will see you all soon. Hopefully you can contribute in future broadcasts. Rico, if I'm in Massachusetts, we're going to have to find a pickup game, man, to bring some day to make sure afterwards we're good. But
I'm definitely going to be stretching, all right?
All right. Well, thank you, and Orville, back to you now.
Yes, actually, I want to add I would like to thank our guest, which I already did, and the fans who watched the show. Stay in your seats, because we are going to go to part 2 of the show. We're only going to say goodbye to our guests, and hopefully we see you in the future. And good luck with both teams also.
Yeah, thank you. It's the second part in Dutch.
This in Dutch, yes, that's in Dutch. Hit the translate button.
Or use your caption button on YouTube, and it'll translate for you.
Okay,
exactly.
Now, can the show be watched? The one that we just did delayed on YouTube, or
yes.
Okay, very good.
So
thank you guys.
It's been a pleasure, really a pleasure. Rico, nice to meet you. All of you, Orville, Wayne, all of you guys. Lucian, thank you so very much for the opportunity. It's been a pleasure to participate.
I was gonna say thanks to Natio Nation for having us over. I'm thrilled to be part of the conversation, and I'm happy to come back whenever. I'll definitely be watching. And now that I know that there's a translate button, I'll actually be able to understand. So
thank you guys, and until next time.
Thank you very much. All the best.
Bye-bye.
Yes, we go to the next part of the show. Well, Wayne, shall we start in Dutch, or should we just keep it on English a little bit?
No, I think I'm ready for each one. You guys challenge me every time when we speak Dutch, so then my Dutch only gets better. So ik ben geprepareerd. Is that the right word?
That's the right word.
Yeah.
Nou, dames en heren, welkom bij het volgende deel van de show. We gaan straks onze mede-analisten in de show brengen. We hebben net in ieder geval een ander perspectief gehad van de watcher van Guatemala, Rico, en van Panama, eigenlijk beide watchen de ploegen wel, Rico en Pio. Dus we zijn benieuwd wat jullie ervan vonden, en hopelijk hebben jullie genoten van de show.
Ja,
we gaan straks...
Sorry,
we gaan straks wat meer over we gaan straks wat meer over het nationale elftal van Suriname hebben. Dus Bing. Zeg het
Just
maar.
Orville, thank you for this was awesome. Like Rico is a good friend, and we go way back, almost like a 15, 20-year friendship. But what I want to say, fans, we're really sorry that we didn't get to all your comments. We value them, but there was such great information that we wanted to make sure that you heard. So we're going to do a better job in this next half to get to your questions. But there were some great comments. Sorry we didn't get to them, but continue to subscribe and like. We're just over 1,000 in subscription on YouTube. Help us get to 1,500. So make sure you subscribe, and thank you for your continued support.
And also, please join the Facebook group, Nationetwork on Facebook. You can join that group, and we are growing also thanks to you guys.
So
let's
in Holland now and Sananantongo, so we got a code switch here. Like, okay, no Hollands, Sananantongo, so moving forward. Ik was vergeten.
Alright. Als het goed is, hebben we Presley en Tev backstage. Presley, welkom heren.
Tev, Waka, Presley, hoe gaat het?
Uitstekend. Ik heb met genoegen geluisterd naar de interviews, of het interview met de heren. Dus interessant.
Wat vond jij het meest interessant? Wat is heb je er iets uit kunnen halen waarbij eigenlijk als Surinaamse fans wat mee kunnen?
Ja, het allerbelangrijkste wat mij intrigeert, waar ik heel blij mee was en waar we altijd over hebben lopen klagen in Suriname, dat is dat we nu een team zijn. Ik hoor mensen uit het buitenland zeggen dat we geen uitschieters hebben, maar dat we een team zijn.
Mooi is dat, hè?
Ja. Nou, we hebben eigenlijk geen uitschieters. We zijn allemaal uitschieters. Als je snapt wat ik bedoel, laat ik het zo formuleren. Nou, het woord zelf, uitschieter, dat is een tegenstelling van wat ik zeg. Want een uitschieter is iemand die iets meer kan dan een ander. Maar in ons geval vind ik dat ze elkaar verschrikkelijk goed aanvullen. En dat heeft die Rico, nee, die andere, Pio, wel heel goed gezien. Ja. Die man uit Honduras. En de andere man was wel, en dat is ook leuk om te zien, meer een fan dan een analist. Ja, en dat is ook mooi. Dus is ook mooi om te zien en om te horen. Daar kun je ook heel veel uithalen. Maar wel, dat wil niet zeggen dat het niet realistisch was. Dat was hij zeker. Zeker bij het bespreken van die spelers. Beide mensen kennen die spelers goed. En ik hoop dat onze fans daar een goed beeld van gekregen hebben. Ik denk alleen dat ze nog steeds niet in de gaten hebben. Misschien wel, dat weet ik niet. Hoe goed Suriname nou eigenlijk is. Want Suriname is niet meer het team dat blij mag zijn dat ze van Martinique winnen. Maar zelfs landen als Mexico, Canada, Panama. Kijk, als je naar die wedstrijden kijkt die we gespeeld hebben tegen Costa Rica en tegen Mexico. Wij zijn op geen enkel moment weggespeeld. Tegen Mexico hebben we 2 momenten van onoplettendheid gehad. En verliezen met 2-0. En Costa Rica heeft 13 minuten langer moeten spelen. Dankzij de scheidsrechter. En we kregen een penalty in de laatste seconde van de wedstrijd, geloof ik. Kijk, maar als je dat allemaal wegstreept, dan hebben wij gewoon een heel erg goed team. En ik denk dat die man van Honduras, die Pio, dat heel goed gezien heeft.
Ja, dat denk ik zeker ook. En ik ben ook benieuwd naar Tev. Wat zijn voor jou de opvallende punten die jij aan het gesprek hebt overgehouden? Was je bijgebleven? Ik denk dat Tev het niet heeft meegekregen. Tev, you there?
There you go. We
hebben geen verbinding met Tev. We zien hem wel, maar we kunnen hem niet horen. Misschien komt het straks wel.
Ik ga aanvullen.
Ja, vul het maar even aan, mee.
So, Presley, dat eerste comment dat je hebt gemaakt is mij ook opgevallen. En daarmee zou ik beginnen. So, we were thinking alike. Ik denk, omdat ze dat hebben gezegd, vind ik dat het moeilijker is voor tegenstanders om zichzelf te prepareren voor ons. We hebben geen uitblinker. Daarvoor denk ik dat het moeilijker is. Like met Panama, voor example, weet je dat je Carrasquilla moet. Je hebt to prepare yourself voor Carrasquilla, toch? Of bepaalde spelers. Maar omdat we zo gebalanceerd zijn, is het moeilijker om te get ready for. So sorry, the second point I was going to make. Altijd met broken me idee over die structuur in Suriname. En ik vond het interessant dat de problemen die wij altijd, ik altijd zeg, als aan die weer dat die andere landen het ook hebben. Met structuur van de bond en jeugdopleiding. Maar toch presteren ze. So, ik heb misschien een groter land, maar ik vond dat ook interessant. So.
Ja, maar dat heeft meer te maken met het feit dat... Kijk, zeg maar kleine bonden, El Salvador, Guatemala, maar er wonen miljoenen mensen.
Mm-hmm.
En miljoenen mensen kunnen ook meer geld opbrengen als het gaat om sponsoring, bedrijven. Mm-hmm. Als je naar Suriname kijkt, en je vraagt je af... wie kan een fatsoenlijke sponsor zijn in Suriname? Daar kan ik er 3 opnoemen en dan is het over. Staatsolie, misschien een groot goudbedrijf en nog een andere retailhandel of autohandelaar. Misschien 4 of 5. Maar houd het op, maar in Guatemala zijn het er 100. En er is meer geld, dus ze kunnen ook meer mensen, meer spelers op de been brengen, maar ook meer faciliteiten bieden. Ik kom dadelijk terug op faciliteiten, want ze hadden het over, en ja, ik zal het toch maar meteen doen. Ik hou er niet zo van om negatief te zijn, maar we moeten wel realistisch blijven. In Guatemala, in de pers, of niet in Guatemala, in El Salvador. Was het El Salvador? Even nadenken. Nee, dat was Guatemala. Werd er gezegd dat het stadion van Suriname, het SS-stadion, eigenlijk net zo groot is als een discotheek in Guatemala City. En dat eigenlijk niks voorstelde. En dat Suriname helemaal geen voetbalcultuur heeft. Nou ja, voetbalcultuur. Kijk, de beste spelers van de wereld van de afgelopen 30 jaar komen niet uit Guatemala. Om dat zo te stellen. Dat zijn Gullit, Rijkaard, noem ze maar op, tot en met nu Van Dijk, Gravenberg en Malen. Maar ze hebben wel ergens een punt. Want als ik toch even kritisch mag kijken. Wij zitten nu op een niveau, een internationaal niveau, waarbij rekening gehouden wordt met Suriname, met Natio. Wij winnen van goede landen. En straks, hopelijk als we op het WK zitten, kunnen we niet meer voldoen met het SS-stadion. Want het SS-stadion, als ik naar Europa kijk, dan kan ik wel 10.000 van die stadions noemen waar op het 5e, 6e, 7e niveau amateurs betere stadions zijn dan het SS-stadion, qua aantallen al. Laat staan qua accommodatie. Dus ze hebben wel een punt als ze zeggen van, dan moet ik het anders vertalen, dat Natio en de Surinaamse bevolking een beter stadion verdient. Een stadion waar minimaal 15.000 of 20.000 mensen in kunnen. Een stadion waarin je, ja, dat is wat ik vind, hè. En dan zou je zeggen, ja, er wonen niet zoveel mensen in Suriname. Maar vroeger was het André Kamperveen stadion hartstikke vol met de helft van het aantal inwoners. Dus het kan wel. Maar goed, dat even terzijde. Dat was even met frustratie. Dus als de bond eraan denkt om fatsoenlijk te accommoderen, dan zul je ook zien dat wanneer die jongens in fatsoenlijke accommodatie spelen, dat het ook beter gaat. Maar ook met de SML. Als ze 2 of 3 van dat soort stadions in Suriname hebben, is genoeg. En dat kan makkelijk, want zoveel kost dat niet. Maar even terzijde, we gaan terug naar die interviews. Ik denk, dit is de gelegenheid om dat even te spuien, omdat Guatemala zo badinerend deed over Suriname. Maar,
ik denk dat we... Ja, zeg het maar.
Maar door de hele interviews heen zag ik aan de ene kant dat Rico denkt dat Guatemala een grote kans maakt om daar te winnen, of minimaal gelijk te spelen. Terwijl die man uit Honduras wat realistischer is. Want of we gaan winnen tegen Panama, dat zien we in de volgende uitzending wel. Ja, ik weet niet of we daar gaan verliezen, maar het is geen gelopen strijd, laat ik het zo zeggen.
Nou, laten we wel... Tev is inderdaad
Go ahead,
weer
Orville.
terug.
Ja.
Tev, je bent er weer. Je bent bij luid en duidelijk. Je hebt even wat internetproblemen, maar volgens mij kunnen we je heel goed verstaan nu.
Misschien,
Hoop ik.
Orville, kan ik een suggestie geven? Misschien moet jij jouw indruk geven en terwijl Tev bezig is met zijn situatie. Wat dacht jij over?
Nou, maar wat ik er zelf over dacht, ik denk dat we heel wat informatie hebben gehad aan het gesprek met de twee heren, met Pio en Rico. We hebben inderdaad een heel ander perspectief kunnen zien, zowel van een fansperspectief, maar ook van echt een analist. Dus ik denk dat niet alleen de fans van Natio, maar zelfs de spelers die eventueel meekijken of mee hebben gekeken, technische stafleden, dat die misschien ook wel wat notities gemaakt zouden kunnen hebben. En zo niet, ja, daar hebben ze hun huiswerk zelf al goed gedaan. Ik heb zelf wel heel veel vertrouwen daar al in natuurlijk. Maar ja, om een ander beeld erbij te krijgen van deze twee heren, ja, ik denk wel dat je hier zeker wel wat aan hebt gehad als technische staf zijnde. Dus ik ben benieuwd, vooruitkijkend op de wedstrijd tegen Guatemala eerst en daarna die tegen Panama. Ik wil het vooral over de laatste updates gaan hebben van onze Natio. Maar zullen we eerst wat comments erbij pakken? Ik zag net al comment in beeld komen.
Ja.
En hopelijk kan die weer in beeld worden gebracht. Dus in the meantime, iedereen welkom. Alle fans. De chatbox is geopend. Suriname has finally learned to play CONCACAF Central American World Cup Qualification Soccer, which is always a war for 90 minutes. En daar heeft hij, denk ik, wel gelijk in. Wat vind jij ervan, Wayne? Hoe denk jij hierover?
Ja, ik herinner dit comment. Lawrence, Jozef, bedankt voor het comment. Maar ik denk het heeft net te doen, like ik zeg, ik zie Suriname steeds verbeteren. En weet je wat het verschil is tussen dit jaar en vorig jaar? Elke window dat we hadden, hebben we gespeeld. So I can't stress enough the importance van gebruik maken van windows. Je ziet, dat doelpunt dat we tegen El Salvador hebben gescoord, tweede doelpunt, is gewoon, het heeft alles te doen met kennis van elkaar. En ik denk, als je een team die core samenspeelt, dan ga je tegenstanders beter, ga je beter zijn om tegen je tegenstanders te spelen. En dit comment van Lawrence, Jozef, gaat erom. Je kan niet leren spelen in CONCACAF en Centraal-Amerika als je niet vaak samen speelt. So dit is een uitkomst van jongens, they got a lot of reps in together. Whether it's oefening or whether it is samen spelen. En dan die jongens die er nu bij komen, je kan ze makkelijker bijpassen. So, ik denk dat dat een testament is. Presley, ik weet niet als je iets wil toevoegen aan.
Ja, als het gaat om... ja, ik moet er even over nadenken, maar dat doe ik terwijl ik aan het praten ben. Guatemala staat hier als een krijger en een vechter. Hè? En je had het net over dat wij eindelijk snappen hoe dat gaat in CONCACAF-verband en zo. Of tenminste, CONCACAF-wedstrijden. Het is 90 minuten lang een strijd. Een oorlog wil ik zeggen. Maar ik heb nog nooit, dat heb ik hiervoor ook al gezegd. Dat heeft te maken met het feit dat we beginnen te begrijpen dat een oorlog nooit door één man gewonnen wordt. Een oorlog wordt altijd. En het verliezen van een strijd is nog niet het verliezen van de oorlog. En dat is wat wij in het verleden goed gezien hebben. We hebben wedstrijden verloren omdat we nog geen peloton waren, omdat we nog, laten we maar militaire termen gebruiken, omdat die man toch het woord oorlog gebruikt. We waren nog geen team soldaten of team strijders, dat een beter gekozen woord. En nu zijn we dat wel. Ik ben altijd een groot fan van Natio geweest natuurlijk. Maar wat ik nu heb is echt het geloof. Echt het geloof dat we bij de top 4 behoren van de CONCACAF. Als we zo doorgaan.
Kan ik even iets anders toevoegen? Ik vind dat we meer spelers hebben nu die op die positie spelen die ze op clublevel spelen versus voor Natio spelen ze op een andere positie dat ze gewoonlijk spelen wanneer ze bij hun club zijn. Ik denk dat er toch een paar zijn, maar ik denk dat ook een verschil is. Dat beter is.
Ja.
Als het goed is, hebben we Tev weer. We hebben Tev weer terug. Als het goed is, we gaan het even weer proberen met Tev. Tev, welkom. Kun je ons goed horen en kunnen wij jou goed horen?
Ja, ik hoor jullie goed. Horen jullie mij goed?
We horen jou luid en duidelijk. Welkom, Tev.
Oké, yes, thank you. Goedemiddag, sorry voor de technicality. Maar ja, ik heb geluisterd naar Rico en Pio. En het was heel leuk om van hen te horen dat ze up-to-date zijn met onze spelers. En wij eigenlijk ook, want je snapt dat ze de punten aanhouden die wij ook hebben gezien. En dat wij nog meer zelf op kunnen halen uit de spelers, hun statistieken en waar wij erop kunnen inspelen. Maar als wij dat hebben gezien, dat wil zeggen dat de technische staf dat ook ziet. En dat is wat Pio zei, Rico zei dat. En gezegd, ik hou ervan hoe jullie eigenlijk Carrasquilla echt onder de druk hebben gezet en dat hij niet uit de voeten kan komen wat hij normaal zou kunnen doen. Dat vond ik wel een heel mooi punt om te zien. Dat we echt ons huiswerk maken en ook toepassen bij onze team tijdens de wedstrijden.
Oké, nou, dus je hebt er zeker ook al wat punten uitgehaald. Maar laten we nog een keer even echt vooruit gaan kijken op de wedstrijd die er aankomt. Dat is dus de wedstrijd tegen Guatemala. Laten we het even vooral over de laatste updates hebben. Want wat zijn de blessures? Wie zijn de vervangers? Ik denk dat dit wel een moment is om daarover te hebben. Ik zag het net ook in de comments voorbij komen dat iemand vroeg wie de vervanger is van Gelderen. Want Van Gelderen is inderdaad geblesseerd. Dus wie is zijn vervanger, heren?
Ik denk dat dat Balker is.
Ja. En
En
ik denk dat we daar heel blij mee moeten zijn.
Niet alleen wij, ik denk dat heel Suriname blij is.
Juist. Dus,
die spelers, of die staf zou wel de overwegingen hebben gemaakt om Balker niet te selecteren. Ik zeg altijd van, er zijn altijd in Suriname zijn er 632.000 bondscoaches. En dus 632.000 meningen, maar het zijn maar 4 mensen of 5 mensen die bepalen wie in de selectie zitten. En wij zijn natuurlijk als fan zijn we beperkt en zijn we afhankelijk van wat we van de laatste keer gezien hebben. Maar wat er daarna gebeurt, los van wat je vindt van de communicatie van de bond, maar wat er daarna gebeurt, dat weten we niet. Was Balker uitgegleden? Gaat hij trouwen? Ik noem maar wat, hè? Dat weet je niet. Hij was er alleen niet bij. En nu wel, nu Van Gelderen geblesseerd is. Maar wat je ook niet moet vergeten, is dat die staf kijkt naar tegen wie je moet spelen. Het kan best zijn dat Balker bijvoorbeeld tegen een Guatemala uit en tegen El Salvador thuis, ik weet het niet, maar dat zij besloten hebben dat hij daar beter uit de voeten zal komen met die tegenstanders. Ik weet het niet. In ieder geval, hij is er nu wel bij en ik ben er blij mee.
Ja, ik denk dat Balker voor vandaag was hij niet op basis voor zijn club.
Huddersfield Town, ja.
Ja, ik weet niet wat hij bedoelt, maar toen hij kwam naar Suriname, had hij die laatste 2 wedstrijden geloof ik niet gespeeld, als ik me kan herinneren. Maar hij heeft goed gepresteerd. En that's all we care about.
Zeker. En zoals ik hier kan lezen van de comment van Reinel Bellingham. Balker is de people's champion. Hij heeft natuurlijk een enorme gunfactor aan zich hangen, denk ik. Vanwege zijn debuutwedstrijd. En hij heeft een hele sterke indruk gemaakt. En hij is meteen in de armen gesloten van eigenlijk de meeste Nacho fans. Dus ik ben het zeker met hem eens dat hij echt de people's champion is. En ik denk dat hij ons over de kwaliteiten beschikt om ons goed voor de dag te brengen.
Hij direct toen hij begon spelen het zwaktepunt van Suriname versterkt. Wat is setpiece, kopbal in het doel, wanneer we het nodig hadden. Ik ben wel geïnteresseerd met hem, met zijn toevoeging. Wie gaat schuiven waar? But that's maybe for the next conversation. Maar those are my only points.
Inderdaad. We hebben natuurlijk ook wat nieuwe spelers erbij gekregen. Waaronder Javan Anderson. Die is gedebuteerd in de eindselectie. Zullen we hem verwachten in de basis als vervanger van Gelderen? Waar zal mensen voor kiezen? Dat is de vraag. Zal hij kiezen voor misschien zelfs Balker als meest rechter centrale verdediger? Dat hij met een 3-mans defensie speelt en 2 wingbacks. Dan zou Balker de meest rechter, lijkt me wel het meest, mij persoonlijk lijkt mij wel iets wat mensen voor zou kunnen kiezen. En dan heb je centraal naast hem weer, heb je dan Ambena en daar links naast weer Pinas. Hoe denken jullie daarover?
Nou, ik heb er nog niet over nagedacht, omdat mijn gedachten zitten nu bij Guatemala, de reacties van de geïnterviewden. Want we hebben namelijk komende zaterdag, hebben wij ook een voorbeschouwing waarin we dit soort dingen uitgebreid gaan beantwoorden. Maar om toch wel antwoord op je vraag te geven, ik denk dat je gelijk hebt. Maar ik bedoel, Haps die gaat dadelijk links staan en dan komt Pinas en dan komt, ik denk dat daar Balken gaat staan en rechts, ik denk Anderson. Of andersom.
Ik weet niet of Stef hier wil toevoegen, maar ik ga zeggen, it depends, voor mij, what you doet met Sherry. Als Sherry op de basis is, dan speel je misschien wel een 4-3-3, maar als Sherry niet op de basis is, dan weet ik niet. Dan speel je met 2 wingbacks. Het is moeilijk om een prognose te geven wat gaat gebeuren, omdat het depends wat die opstelling is.
Die opstelling gaat 4-3-3 worden.
Maar als het een 4-3-3 is, dan speel je niet met 2 wingbacks.
Nee, ja, het blijven wingbacks, alleen die komen daar niet op.
Maar ik weet niet, is dat een echte...
Nee, kijk, als je 4-3-3 speelt, speel je met 2 wingbacks en 2 centrale verdedigers. En niet 3 centrale verdedigers. En dan speel je met drie middenvelders met een punt naar voren en een punt naar achteren. En je speelt met een punt naar voren zijn nummer 10 dan. Dat zou wel Gerrie zijn. En Grot in de spits en links Margaret en rechts Becker. Dat zou dan de 4-3-3 zijn. Dat denk ik.
Ja, I disagree that wanneer je 4-3-3 speelt, dan speel je niet met wingbacks. Because they're not gonna overlap as much.
Nee, dat is semantic. Ik denk dat is semantisch. Ik denk dat ik weet wat je bedoelt. Je bedoelt met de wingbacks met 5 man achterin spelen. Dat zijn opkomende linker en rechter verdedigers. Die bedoel je?
Ja, wat Panama speelt is dat systeem.
Ja.
Maar I don't want, maybe it's semantics, but I see it different. Tev, do you have anything to add to the conversation?
Yes, ik blijf nog steeds op de 5 achterhoede, 5 verdedigers. Het gaat worden Haps, in mijn optie wordt het Haps, Pinas, Abena en Balker. Ik denk niet dat hij direct Japan gaat zetten. Dat je die cohesie van je team niet wel... Het is geen tijd voor testen. Je kan hem wel zetten als vervanger. Dan ziet hij ook hoe ze spelen. En hij moet meekijken vanuit de bank. En dan van daaruit en ook nog rekening houden met de trainingen die ze gaan hebben met elkaar. Dan ziet hij hoe we allemaal de instructies krijgen en hoe ze het uitvoeren. Dat lijkt het best. Dat zou ik eigenlijk doen. Maar ik denk nog steeds dat we met 5 man achterin spelen. En dan gekeken met een Sherry is het moeilijk om te zeggen wat voor soort middenveld ik zou willen opstellen. Maar ik zou wel een 4 lijn maken, alleen van 4 middenvelders en dan 1 puntspits. Even kijken als het Grot wordt of Pleiter, maar ik zou direct gaan met een boomlange spits om die ballen gewoon te gooien voor hem. En hij is ook nog snel en hij gebruikt zijn lichaam heel goed om een opening te maken in de lijnen, de defensieve lijnen. Dus ik blijf dat het wordt Haps, Pinas, Abena en dan Balker. Maar ik denk dat die 2 van tijd tot tijd gaan switchen. Omdat Balker ook een goede drive heeft naar voren. hebben gezien tijdens de wedstrijd van Panama.
Ja, nou, bedankt voor je toevoeging. Nou, jullie hebben eigenlijk wel gelijk. Want vooruitkijkend op de volgende wedstrijd. Ik denk in de volgende uitzending. We zullen dit wel bespreekbaar maken in de volgende uitzending inderdaad. We moeten misschien ons kruid een beetje bewaren. Want in die week kan er nog veel gebeuren. Blessures, noem maar op. Dus misschien is het beter om toch even te kijken naar de nieuwe spelers. We hebben net Anderson al genoemd. Daniels is ook in de selectie. En J. Roy Grot. Is er iemand van jullie die ze een beetje gevolgd de laatste tijd bij hun clubs? Laten we beginnen met Daniels. Kilmarnock, Schotland speelt hij. Heeft
Eigenlijk in 4 wedstrijden heeft hij 3 keer gescoord, geloof ik. Ik kan het wel even opzoeken, want ik heb het toevallig opgeschreven.
Ondertussen kijk ik even nog naar wat comments van de fans.
Ja.
Er zijn wat fans die inderdaad ook voor een andere, en hebben het over de komende wedstrijd, ze hebben het over tactieken. Ik denk dat we even eentje erbij gaan pakken. Ondertussen gaat Presley even de laatste updates erbij pakken.
Ja.
Nou, hier heb ik nog een comment van Reinhold Bellingham. Mensen zal gaan voor een 3-mans verdediging met Balker, Adbena en Pinas. Met een 5-mans middenveld, waarbij Haps en Becker op de vleugel zullen spelen. Paal en Lonwijk op het middenveld. Sherry als nummer 10 en Grot als spits. Nou, we hebben het dus net al over Grot. Dit is wat Reinhold denkt. We hebben het net al een beetje ook over de 5-mans middenveld gehad. En achterin Balker, Adbena en Pinas. Ik denk dat dit best wel het zou kunnen worden. Inderdaad. Maar nogmaals, we gaan het de volgende keer wel over hebben. Over de opstellingen. Maar Grot, inderdaad. Wat zijn de laatste updates van Grot? En Misejan is er natuurlijk ook bij.
So I'll let somebody else go.
Nou, even tussendoor. Ik had beloofd dat ik iets over Daniels zal zeggen.
Daniels.
Janeiro Daniels, die is in Cork City heeft hij 12 keer gespeeld dit jaar. 12 wedstrijden en 5 keer gescoord. En voor Kilmarnock heeft hij 3 wedstrijden gespeeld en 1 keer gescoord. Hij heeft ook in Nederlandse jeugdelftallen gespeeld. Maar we zijn nu bezig met Grot, hè?
Ja, ik kan helpen met Grot. Grot heeft gisteren gespeeld in de Super League. En hij heeft 90 minuten gespeeld en hij speelde nummer 9. Vorige week heeft hij ook 90 minuten gespeeld en ze hebben verloren, 5-1. En ook als een spits. Gisteren hebben ze gelijk gespeeld. So hij is actief. Dat kan ik wel zeggen van Grot. En de laatste 3 wedstrijden heeft hij een volle wedstrijd gespeeld. En 3 wedstrijden geleden heeft hij een assist gegeven. So hij is actief.
Hij heeft dit jaar 11 wedstrijden gespeeld. En 5 keer gescoord, deze competitie.
So als hij speelt, is hij wel in vorm.
Ja.
Ik ga even nog een comment erbij pakken van een fan. Ik heb hier een comment van Laurens Josef. Rekening houden dat Guatemala moet winnen. Dus een counter zal best voor ons zijn. Hij zou het met een 5-4-1 opstelling doen. Die heb ik ook toevallig in mijn hoofd zitten. Maar want je moet toch aan de omschakeling ook denken. Maar ik denk dat we deze comments allemaal moeten bewaren voor de volgende uitzending.
Ja.
En ik hoop dat de fans die net pas zijn ingeschakeld, dat die het begin van de uitzending nog terug zullen kijken. Want die kan je gewoon terugkijken op ons YouTube kanaal. Vergeet inderdaad niet te liken en de stream zoveel mogelijk te delen. En hit de subscribe button. Vergeet niet te abonneren. We hebben namelijk een leuk interview gehad met Pio en Guatemala-fan Volger Rico. En daar heb je wat meer inzichten zal je kunnen krijgen over hoe ze in Guatemala en Panama over het nationale voetbalelftal van Suriname denken. Zeg maar mee.
Daniels heeft niet gespeeld. Hij heeft gisteren... hij heeft vandaag 1 minuut gespeeld.
2
2 minuten. Hij is in de 87 minuut ingevallen. En die wedstrijd is nog niet klaar. Er is nog geen score. Maar hij speelt vandaag, maar hij was niet op basis. En vorige week heeft hij 25 minuten gespeeld. Hij speelt wel, maar niet op basis.
Ja.
Sorry.
Oké. Nou, we gaan nog even wat comments erbij pakken voordat we gaan afsluiten. Want we zijn al best wel lang, bijna met een 2-urige show zijn we bezig.
Ja.
Dus we gaan even nog een comment in beeld brengen. Dus voor de fans die wat later zijn ingeschakeld, ja, we zijn al 2 uur bezig. Dus voor ons is het wel tijd om af te gaan ronden. Vooruitkijkend op de volgende uitzending. Dus pakken we nu nog even wat comments erbij.
Tev, what do you
Just
say?
chilling. Ik zie Natio niet verliezen van Guatemala in Suriname. Ze spelen wel goed, maar ze zijn meer een team dat een grote crowd achter zich moet hebben. Want ze kunnen gewoon een wedstrijd in Guyana verliezen.
Tev, what do you think about that?
Nou, ik denk niet dat... Ik denk niet...
Ja?
Ga je
Ja,
gang,
zeg
Tev,
maar.
ga je gang. Nee, ga je gang. Kom maar.
Oké, ik denk dat dat heel belangrijk is. En ik ga nog steeds blijven op het interview van Dion. We spelen veel beter als we lawaai maken, kabal maken, speelt Natio veel beter. Dus thuis, voor ons moeten we heel goed gebruiken. Vooral met de liefde die we aantonen, de vurigheid die we tonen in de stands, moeten we blijven aangeven. En dan maken we het moeilijk voor Guatemala. En zoals het hier staat, ze hebben een crowd nodig om eigenlijk te kunnen winnen. Dus wij moeten de crowd zijn voor onze team, zodat wij kunnen winnen van hun. En dan is het wel op waarheid, kan je zeggen. Dus wij moeten ons best blijven doen met het support.
Ja. En kan Regie die poster weer in beeld brengen, die je zo net had?
Ja.
Alsjeblieft.
Ik moet ook erbij vertellen dat op 6 oktober is er een open dag. Dat is ook een forum om aan te tonen dat we de echte support aan u geven. Want de vorige keer was het drukst dat ik het zo ver heb gezien. En het kan drukken, dus ja, het zou cool zijn als we allemaal daar staan. Want wanneer ze een goede paas maken of een goaltje, dan krijgen ze een applausje. En daar proeven ze alle sfeer van hoe we zijn als Natio-fans. Dus het zou cool zijn om dit zelf ook terug te bezoeken. Met inachtneming, met de regelgeving. Ja.
Wij gaan gewoon applaudisseren als het volkslied van de tegenstander gespeeld wordt.
Ja. Als we over fansgedrag hebben, laten we de standaard blijven zetten dat we the most sportsmanship and kindness is essentieel to hoe wij zijn als Surinamers.
Yes.
We zijn geen El Salvador fans. We zijn anders. We gedragen ons met respect voor de tegenstander en laten we blijven om die standaard te zetten. Want als we dat niet doen en als we elkaar niet verantwoordelijk houden voor dat soort gedrag in het stadion, dan is het geen goede reflectie van ons als Surinaamse fans, maar in the most consequential ways, dan gaat het ons pijn doen. Laten we ons gedragen. Alsjeblieft, laten we ons Suriname trots maken. Want het kan ons helpen om naar het WK te gaan. Als we dat niet doen, dan kan het een straf zijn voor ons om naar het WK te gaan. Als je kijkt wat met El Salvador is gebeurd, kan het ook met ons gebeuren. Don't let anything get in the way of WK. Especially things we can control as fans.
Ik vind dat een mooie afsluiter eigenlijk voor de uitzending. Ik denk dat we hiermee wel de uitzending kunnen beëindigen. We zitten inmiddels bijna op 2 uur. Dus het is wel mooi geweest. Hebben jullie nog aanvullingen, heren, voordat we eruit gaan?
Nee, ik kan alleen maar zeggen dat we stemmen op ons af op vrijdag aanstaande. In de voorbeschouwing van Suriname tegen Guatemala. Dan gaan we uitgebreid onze selecties bespreken. En dan weten we ook iets meer wie er eigenlijk heel is gebleven na de trainingen. Maar ook de opstelling van Suriname zal dan al bekend zijn. Dus ik zou zeggen, we zien elkaar weer vrijdag.
Precies. Tev, had jij nog aanvullingen?
Ik denk dat ik de voorbeschouwing dan via de stadion uit zal doen. Dus het gaat een beetje rumoerig zijn van mijn kant. Ja, dat zou een beetje. Maar afgestemd op vrijdag.
Mooi, dat zou leuk zijn. Wayne?
Only thing I have to add, thanks fans. Ik zie dat de fans zijn blijven aanhangen en I'm grateful for that. Subscribe and like. We appreciate your support. We've had a lot of success recently thanks to you. And a lot of interest thanks to you. Onze enige goal is om te bijdragen. To make sure dat de fans zijn geïnformeerd over wat er gaat gebeuren. Kijk naar onze Facebook page. Als je een show hebt gemist, ga terug om te kijken. We proberen jullie met constant informatie te geven. So, untang na uno, blijf luisteren, blijf reageren, blijf subscriben, blijf liken.
Yes. Heren, jullie ook bedankt. En tot de volgende. Volgende week zijn we weer. Voorbeschouwing, rustanalyse en de nabeschouwing van de wedstrijd. Suriname thuis tegen Guatemala. Tot de volgende keer, heren.
Next ne broccoli.